It's Christmas! It's Christmas. Just like any other year, welcome to the NecroMageTV official Christmas stream. I am the great and terrible NecroMage, and I'm welcoming you to join me on this high holiest of holy holidays. As I have twice before on Christmas, because it's Christmas. It's just the way it is. Everybody loves Christmas. Let's get the music going again.
Quite often I get to thinking how as kids we got by. Like at Christmas time at our house, we couldn't.
We're gonna have fun today. We're gonna have fun. I've got an advent calendar, which I will use to predict the upcoming year by decoding the secrets instilled in it by the Illuminati. I've got the holiest of holy texts, the Centennial Collector's Edition of the birth of Jesus, because he was born 100 years ago. I've got my medicine, very important for getting through any holiday, really. And we're going to be playing Adolescent Santa Claus, a surely fantastic game that I don't know what's going to happen when I play it, because I've never played it before, because this is Christmas morning and I'm going into it blind. I'm going to need this in order to continue this stream, for reasons that, well, it's just Christmas. That's the only reason. Alright. Advent calendar time. Now, there's number one. Immediately, this year, 2019, this upcoming year, because it's Christmas, this upcoming year is just going to be filled with just sex. The number one door, the positioning of it on the artwork is very significant, and as you can see, it's on Santa's dick. The Illuminati, they want all the little children in the world, the ones who buy this particular calendar, the Illuminati calendar, the Carnaby Suite calendar is where the Illuminati spread their evil messages. And they're spending it to Santa's junk. It's terrible. And what is this? I think it's a bag of toys? Yeah, so what we can glean from that is that the Illuminati have planned for the upcoming year a lot of, I guess, prostitution scandals planned, or perhaps some legal changes to that. The exchange of material goods for sexual services is going to be significant in 2019. Number two, also significantly placed, window of a house. What we can glean from this is that whatever this chocolate is going to be is symbolic of the housing market of 2019. And it's a star. So what that means is that housing prices are going to go up towards the stars. Presumably to the detriment of we, the common people, the heroes of society. Number 3, window number 3, because I already opened it, isn't significant. Only 1, 2, and the last one, really, are significant on the artwork. Because otherwise it's too restrictive in the Illuminati. They can't make an entire 24. Come on now. Some of it's just going to be space to make it look like a Christmas design. It's a cupcake. It's a cupcake. But, there we go. But, as you can see, when we bite off the cup, we're left with the infamous poop emoji, minus the face. What that means, in my humble interpretation, is that the poop emoji is going to become an Illuminati symbol, more so than it already is. If you look at it, it is a triangle with eyes in it, which is just a bog standard Illuminati symbol in the first place. But rather than, I think they're going to become more overt with it. The design of the smiling face is probably going to shift to a cyclopean, no smile, just one central eye within the pile of poop. And that's as the Illuminati are demonstrating that they are increasing their stranglehold over our society. Let's play some video games. Oh, do.
산타는 루돌프를 먹을 수밖에 없어.
Excellent. So, this masterpiece, apologies if I just hit my mic, this masterpiece of game design and just art, really, just some of the greatest art that I have ever experienced. This is Adolescent Santa Claus. It is a visual novel, and that alone should be sending off red flags to anyone who knows anything about visual novels, or the use of the word adolescent before a fictional, or before a popular character really of any type. I don't want to go to prison. But we're going to play this game because I feel it is important that when you discover works of art that change your perspective on life, that fundamentally alter the way you think about the world, you are duty bound. It is your responsibility to share that art with the world. Christmas Eve. I was in my room, staring off into the distance. The room was as plain as it gets. No noise, no color, not even a smell. What's the big deal about Christmas anyways? Everything is so stagnant, Nothing ever changes around here. I let out a deep and drawn-out sigh. Now that I think of it, there was once a more innocent time when I used to believe in Santa Claus. Santa. Will he ever come? He probably won't. I'm no longer a kid, after all. Whew. Oh, that was the sigh. Phew was the sigh. After letting out a sigh, I rolled over. Once I did so, there was...
선물을 줘.
Give me your gift. Now, friends. It's important that we're all on the same page here. What we had was a young man, adult man, presumably depressed. The sense of drabness about his surroundings. The sense of drabness about his surroundings seemed to imply a detachment from the world. His desire for change, but unwillingness to commit even the most basic action towards accomplishing that change would also be indicative of a depressed state. And he was feeling that the holiday should be more than it was. And then like that, his room, his personal sanctum, his private space was infiltrated by the sudden appearance of a tiny girl in a schoolgirl outfit, insisting that he give him his gift. Which, startling to be sure. I feel that any reasonable person would be shocked at this. Now, I want you, gentle viewers, to pay very close attention to what is about to happen here. There was a kid version of Santa Claus. No explanation needed. I mean, I know that when I see an adorable, brown-eyed, brown-haired girl wearing a schoolgirl uniform, a winter coat, and a red X in her hair, well, that's a kid version of Santa Claus. Why would it not be? Why would it need any of the indicative, iconic qualities of Santa Claus for me to immediately know that this tiny girl is in fact Kris Kringle? That some things you just know. Some things are just immediately apparent and you grasp them without question. Why would you not? Why would you think anything else? Clearly it's a kid version of Santa Claus. That slide whistle sound effect. She suddenly popped out, demanding a gift from me. That made me flinch a bit. No, hang on, where did she even come in from? She wasn't here a second ago. I swear, officer. I don't know. Let's not think about it. Sign of... Listen, I don't know how many of you are visual novel aficionados, but whenever you're following along with one, or even writing one, and you reach a point where a reasonable human being, or a sane, rational entity of thought and reason would view the scenario that you have presented them with, or you are being presented with, it is important. It is of the utmost importance that you inform the reader that it's best to just not. It's best to just not. Just let your brain turn to mush in your head and enjoy the pretty pictures. Because that's why it's a visual novel, okay? It's not meant to be analyzed or scrutinized in a way that would make it art. It is meant to be easily digestible trash that makes no sense. And if you ever try to rise above that station, just don't. Just don't. Just don't try. That's the real takeaway from that little rant. Don't try. Sorry, I don't have anything for you. I had absolutely no idea where she came in from, but she seemed rather harmless and cute. You know, when you get a small girl popping into your apartment where previously there was no small girl before. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
남은 거 없어?
Because this is supposed to be Santa Claus, and because I cannot do a tiny girl voice any justice, I am going to be voicing the part of adolescent Santa Claus as a traditional Santa Claus voice. You have nothing left? Yep, I've got no money. Yeah.
다른 건?
Anything else? Well, I can't give you my computer, I can't give you my clothes, and I can't give you my books. They're my bare necessities, after all.
그래도
Still, don't you have something else to offer? Now, viewers, I know what you're thinking. And please do not call the police. Because this is... I assure you, this is... If this were a game about sexualizing a tiny child version of Santa Claus, I would not be bothering with the effort of a reproduction stream to recapture the footage of it. I would be burying it in the annals of history as an unfortunate example of a technical failure. This is so much more than that. Like what?
꿈이나
Hopes and dreams. I've got none of those either. And this protagonist of this visual novel, I'm gonna relate to him a lot. Because I also have no money, hopes, or dreams. So we're gonna make a game of this. Whenever I find myself relating to the main character, that's when I'm gonna drink from my wine. Because relating to the main character, the male protagonist of a visual novel, it's not a good place to be intellectually. They are the stupidest entities known to mankind.
그래 보이네.
Yeah, I figured. You seem like the type of guy with no hopes or dreams. Sorry, you might want to try somebody better off. She said, leering at me. That is... Oh man, what a leer.
선물 주기 전까진
I won't leave until you give me a gift. Whatever, do what you want. Am I hallucinating? Or am I dreaming? The Kid Santa, who I has not been established. That is strictly assumed. The kid Santa let out a joyous chuckle while she ran around me in a circle. Today is Christmas Eve. I couldn't even tell what's real or not anymore. To be honest, it didn't really matter. Oh. All that was clear was that this cute kid Santa Claus wasn't going to leave me alone. It already was Christmas Eve. The first sentence in this game was that it was Christmas Eve. And then it just became Christmas Eve. I'm gonna put this on pause. We are Nope, I've never played this game before. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that through the course of this stream because it is a treat worth savoring. Another treat worth savoring are these delicious Carnaby Sweet chocolates that are just chock full to the brim with the secrets of the upcoming year. So let us continue our divination. Number 4. Now, number 4, as you can see, number 4 is eating chocolate out of a reindeer's butt. And it also is perilously close to that reindeer's mouth. I know that I said that only positions 1, 2, and 24, or is it 25? The last one matter for the Illuminati code, and that is true. But just this positioning shows the general disdain that our overlords have for, the common working folk who prop them up, essentially. As you can see, it's a trumpet. I don't think that has a particularly deep meaning. I think that is literally just the Illuminati making a fart joke. Really just looking down on us. Number 5 is at the cornerstone of this house. In addition to, scrying the future in these chocolates and interpreting the meaning of the Illuminati, I also like just helping people who are playing along at home, but are numerically illiterate, to figure out the order in which they're supposed to open their advent calendars. So this corner of the house is it's a happy cartoon deer. I don't know if that's gonna come through. There it is. Yeah, it's a happy cartoon deer. And I think what that means is that meat, the consumption of animals, particularly ungulates, is going to be a cornerstone, the foundation, a cornerstone of the foundation of the economy in 2019. I expect that there will be some sort of contention about the meat industry, and the Illuminati is all for it. Of course they are. It creates suffering. Now 6. There's 6 in the antlers and mouth of those reindeer. perhaps this art is more indicative than I initially assumed, because I believe that with the combination of reindeer butt and reindeer mouth and reindeer antlers, that bookended the meat symbology. We may be looking at an additional emphasis on processed meat. Your hot dogs and your sausage, using the inferior cuts from the animal, i.e. the butt, mouth, and antlers of the reindeer, the parts that you wouldn't necessarily eat. Anyway, we have a drum. Yeah, I think that is just, much like the trumpet before it, I think that is just the Illuminati making a crass joke about, like, drumming with reindeer antlers. And that those three, they were entirely related to the additional investment and increase in processed meats, most of which are carcinogenic. Processed pork and processed beef, like sausages, hot dogs, ground beef, are type 2 carcinogens, and they really don't like to tell people that. And that's not like crazy conspiracy, it's true, you can look it up, it's just not very advertised. So really, I think the Illuminati are just going to ramp up the processed meat profiteering before that really becomes an issue, or perhaps while it's becoming an issue, because it's becoming an issue. I don't know. I don't claim to be a member of the Illuminati. I'm not betraying them. I'm merely versed in their ways. Number 7 is out of Santa's sleigh. And it's a pine tree. Christmas tree, as it were. This is my breakfast, by the way. I think what that means is we're going to see a return to using, natural resources as vehicles, rather than the very synthetic, metallic processes we use nowadays. Less plastic, less steel, more wood. And I don't believe that will be to the benefit of anyone. I think it will be, it'll be to the benefit of those in power, but the common man will be swindled, hornswoggled into using an inferior material for his or her vehicles. Giant buses made of wood. That's what's happening in 2019. Number 8. Number 8 is those houses down there, the village. So this could either be to do with the housing market or all of Canada. Because believe it or not, the Illuminati thinks of us. Okay. There's a hat. That means it's Canada. That's actually indicative of the following chocolates, referring to Canada. That's clear as day. And so, my fellow Canadians, there we go. Number 9 is kind of a tree, kind of a house situation. Well, here we go. The positioning, once again, the art was immaterial. This is a snowman, but it is clearly indicating that we are going to have a change in leadership, which is, that's the upcoming election. Okay. Number 10 is on a mountain, which could be indicative of our natural resources. And it's a candle. I'm predicting much political turmoil because of the election and switch in leadership. And it's going to be based around the exploitation of our natural resources. And it's going to get nasty. Now, 6 months from now, or towards the end of the year, when everything's going horribly, for that very reason, and people are like, oh, who could have seen this coming? I want you to share this video when it is a video, because I am a prophet. Is my audio not capturing? Oh, no, there it is. I had two bars that aren't actual audio captures, but they're labeled as such for some reason. Number 11. Where are you? There you are. Number 11. Reindeer face. Probably... Oh, no. I was about to say it's probably not related to the actual reindeers, but here we go. It's a skate. And as we all know, a skate is just a boot. It's the Illuminati symbol of a boot. Animal footwear, animal clothing. These things are going to make a big comeback in 2019. And number 12, always significant because of the 12 days of Christmas. Is a teddy bear. We're going to start making clothing out of bears. Never been done before. 2019. Come summer to fall. Actually, yeah, come fall 2019. Beyonce wearing a bear skin coat. That's going to be a thing. Back to adolescent Santa Claus.
산타는 채무자를 괴롭힐 수밖에 없어.
I locked my door. And doing that made it seem like I have sealed myself into my very own private world. Oh no. A tranquil one that I won't be disturbed in. All I needed to do was to close the door out of the lack of miracles, expecting nothing. The only thing I need in my world is me. All I need is a world with a population of 1. Me. It's too relatable. But Santa was still tirelessly orbiting around me. Just running around endlessly. She's starting to get on my nerves. Sit. She sat. For some reason, it feels like she'd give me her hand if I say paw to her. Let's not do that. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. So, who exactly are you, tiny girl that I've already established in my mind as Santa Claus?
산타.
That sound effect was so cute. Santa Claus. You're wearing a school uniform. Not now. Not you are a tiny girl. Wearing the school uniform precedes the incredulousness of that.
그래도 산타야.
Still Santa Claus. I guess she's right. Balthazar, I have a question for you. If you were to see that tiny girl, and have that tiny girl tell you that she is Santa Claus, would you just accept it? Would you just accept it?
Well, I think I probably would, Necro. I think that's... Why would you doubt something like that?
That's very fair, Balthazar. You don't have a brain. You are a bonehead. I guess she's right. After all, I did realize that she was Santa right after seeing her. This game is a gem. How was I able to do that? I'm not sure. I mean... But there are those times in life that you just want to forget about it all and do as your heart desires, right? Jerry, you being depressed is not a reason to project Santa Claus upon this lowly child that has appeared in your apartment. It was one of those days. Christmas Eve. The one time in a year where everyone just wants to forget about reality and live in their dreams. Yeah, that's the only time of year that happens. Why is your dream the title of this game, an adolescent Santa Claus? Why? Why? Weren't Santas extinct? Balthazar? Balthazar? Weren't Santas extinct? I was pretty sure in anthropology class I learned about the great extinction of the Santa Claus.
교복을 입고 미소녀가 되어서 살아남았어.
I managed to survive by wearing a school uniform. You know. So that's how Santa started wearing a school uniform. Doesn't say anything about how Santa became a child or a girl. How does it feel like to be a cute girl? Oh, I think we can all relate to that question.
코스튬 플레이?
Feels like cosplay. Santa's depraved.
아니야. 교복을 입어도 마음만은 따뜻해.
No. I'm still Santa in heart, even if I wear a school uniform. Then why are you taking the presents away? I thought Santa was supposed to be giving them.
회수 중이야.
Withdrawing? Withdrawing?
어릴 때 준
Yep,
것들을
I'm taking back the things I gave away when everyone was little. Why?
빌려줬으니까.
Since I loaned it to you. Loaned what? You know, hopes, dreams, future, that sort of stuff. Wait, you were lending those? Yep, I was going to take everything back with interest, but
더 파산을
everyone went bankrupt. Ooh. Haha. Santa was actually a loan shark. We were all being deceived. Beautiful people out there in Streamland. It is important that you understand that you are all being deceived every single day of your lives. You are being lied to every single day of your lives, and that I am the only one that you can ever actually trust. Because I will never bring falsehood into your home. So basically, you're here to repossess the hopes and dreams you gave me when I was younger. Yep, and I'm going to take them back with interest to the very last penny. Sorry, I'm broke as well. Ooh. Santa twitched as if she had taken a hit to her emotions. Because, you know, when I feel sad, I just... and it's very difficult to control. It's actually why I was diagnosed with, with epilepsy. When I was younger, it was actually just the constant gnawing sadness. Twitch. That was kind of cute. No. Bad game.
기한이 있어.
There's a deadline. A deadline?
24일과 25일.
The 24th and the 25th. Now, Santa, I'm assuming you've been in this game for a while. You're an ancient entity of benevolence and good. You exist in a nebulous, magical subspace of human That's not how a deadline works. A deadline is one period after which, it's too late. You can't say that both of those are deadlines. The 25th is clearly the deadline. That's what a deadline is. You foolish tiny girl. So today and tomorrow. If I miss the deadline, I would have to return this uniform to its owner. And then Santa will go extinct. Uh-huh? Wait, why? That's actually... I relate to that statement. Well, because Santa can only escape the danger of going extinct by wearing a school uniform and becoming a beautiful girl. Duh! Yes. Yes, I read that in the texts. That's not very easy to understand. Therefore, Santa looked as though she was planning to explain it to me. Once the 25th passes, anything I do will be pointless. Oh, that's... I relate to that. Why? Because today and tomorrow are meant to be the most fantastic days of all. Fantastic? Fantastic! Ah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic day. So Santa has to collect her payment in full within the next 2 days, huh? Yep, it's urgent. Sorry, I literally have nothing. Oh. Oh, we're gonna take a big swig of this. Ugh. It's morning. The sun is rising. Even on the most fantastic of all days, the sun rises like any other. So it's Christmas now? Or was that all happening at like just after midnight and the first day wasn't Christmas Eve at all? Sun, 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 sunny day. Christmas Eve is a sunny day. Ah. It's not fantastic at all. I'm guessing the sun is not too fond of the snow from the way he killed them all. Balthazar, would you assume that snow is alive, the sun has emotions towards the snow, and that the sunlight melting the snow is an act of mass murder or genocide? Because I certainly wouldn't. I would not personify those things. I think we may be dealing with an unreliable protagonist. I think this entire story may be the product of a diseased mind. Let's delve further into this nightmare scenario and see what we can uncover about the psyche of the author. It heated and melted them away. Poor snow. Sun tends to always be like that. You know, just killing everything. Sunny places are always like that. Reality is always like that. Oh. Oh. Fascism is the natural state of the human being. Santa!
왜?
Oh, okay, whoa, let's not go to prison. Where's Rudolph?
구워 먹었어.
Oh no. I grilled and ate him. Not outrage, not confusion, not... Why? Why is the first... No, this man just immediately was like, oh, that's Santa Claus, that tiny girl in my room who most people would just assume is a potential felony. It's clearly Santa Claus. So of course, he would have turned into a tiny girl, grilled and ate Rudolph. And I should simply ask whether Rudolph, his esteemed companion, the deer that led his sleigh, tasted good.
눈물만.
Tasted like tears. Tears?
산타는 배가 고파서 루돌프를 구워 먹었어. 산타는 사랑하는 루돌프를 먹지 않으면 안 될 정도로 굶주렸었거든.
Santa was hungry, so she had to eat Rudolph. Santa was starving to the point where if she didn't eat her beloved Rudolph, she would have perished. How did it get to this? Oh.
빌려간 꼬마들이 파산해버려서 알거지가 됐어.
Well, since the kids who received my loan went bankrupt, since all the kids who received my loan went bankrupt, I'm also broke. Listen. Okay. This is a poignant message. Everyone who is on the conservative end of the political spectrum who watches my stream, this is what happens in capitalism if you take everything from the poor. The bottom falls out. The bottom falls out. You can get all the money, but then when you do, all the money is worthless. This is how banks collapse. This is you need a safety net for the bottom level in order to keep the top level at the top. You know, it's economics. It's economics. Oh.
루돌프야.
Rudolph! Why did those ungrateful children all go broke?
하지만 괜찮아. 루돌프는 내 속에 있으니까. 이걸로 우리는 영원히 함께.
But it's fine. Rudolph is inside me now. We'll be together forever. Woof. How is Santa meant to get around without Rudolph?
어떡하긴. 걸어다니지.
What else? Santa walks. You walk? You aren't chauffeured about by your reindeer companion? Oh.
루돌프는 날 수 있었지만 루돌프를 먹은 나는 날 수가 없어. 코를 빨갛게 칠해도 날 수가 없어.
I know Rudolph was able to fly, but just because I ate him, it doesn't mean I can fly now. Not even if I paint my nose red. The certainty with which she says this implies she tried it. We decided to have a moment of silence for Rudolph. Yes! Let's all have a moment of silence for Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, who Santa, after turning into a tiny schoolgirl, had to eat to prevent herself from starving to death and making Santas go extinct. This game is a gem. This game is free on Steam, and I would encourage everyone to download it, give it a good review, because look at what it is. What do you plan to do once the 24th and 25th is over, Santa Claus?
363일 동안 꿈과 희망을 만들어.
I'm gonna go make more hopes and dreams for the next 363 days. And with those... And with those...
그리고 그걸 24일과 25일
And with those, I'm going to distribute them all on the 24th and 25th. Santa's great. Not to suck my own dick, but Santa's great. I see. Santa is great. Santa is great! Oh, that's gonna get gift. Oh no, what have I done? I'd hate to see anyone I hate for anyone to see me doing a Nazi salute.
하지만
I've fallen on hard times with the factory, though, so the factory's now a pile of debris. Fallen on hard times! You put hard times on Santa Claus, baby! You... Falling on hard times. So now the factory's a pile of debris. A pile of debris. Why?
꿈과 희망을 빌려간 꼬마애들이
Because the children who borrowed the hopes and dreams from us all filed for bankruptcy altogether. It's the poor! The poor are why my business is failing. Urgh. I mean, I literally just made the noise. Gimme! Gimme! I'm Santa Claus! Gimme, gimme, gimme! Sorry, but I don't have anything. Ugh. The morning went by, and it is now noon. Afternoon. Ah, afternoon. I want to see snow. White snow. A white panoramic landscape. I want to see a beautiful white scenery. I want the world to be white. Go away, sun. Let the snow fall.
배고파.
I'm hungry. Santa was starving. You're hungry?
내 속에 루돌프가 배고프다고 울부짖고 있어.
Rudolph is crying out that he's hungry from inside of me.
You've been drinking.
Yes, I've been drinking. Thank you. Rudolph is crying out that he's hungry from inside of me. This game wasn't even written. I'm pretty sure this is originally in Korean, was translated. This is one of the greatest works of art that humanity has ever produced. This angry, lowly schoolgirl child being Santa Claus, having eaten Rudolph, saying this as the pinnacle of human accomplishment right there. Rudolph, you're alive? You see what I mean by the protagonist of a VN being the stupidest entity imaginable? I have ramen if you... Aww.
인스턴트는 싫어.
I don't like instant food. I had plenty of instant food and I chose to eat Rudolph. We could always starve!
이 나쁜 채무자!
You bad debtor? Yes. Yes, continue to punch down, Santa Claus. The creditor forced violence on the debtor. Ooh. A knuckle to my forehead. 1 minute of recovery. I passed out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the most physical guy. I'm much more a lover than a fighter. But I feel that if a tiny girl, a tiny Animu girl, were to take a swing at me and hit her knuckle into my forehead. The forehead is the hardest part of the skull. It is... If you were in a fight, you do not aim for the forehead. You aim for the jaw to create a leverage that jostles the brain and causes a knockout, or you aim for like the temple, which is like a softer part of the skull. You do not aim for the thickest part of the skull. It is designed to protect the brain. Passing out from a shot to the forehead, a knuckle to the forehead, from a tiny girl is... I cannot fathom that being possible. I can't. It just doesn't happen. The mechanics to create that knockout scenario just aren't there in the human anatomy. What I'm saying is I could take this guy in a fight. That's really all. That's what I'm trying to establish. 1 minute passed. Rebirth. What was that sound effect? That's the sound of rebirth?
다행이야.
Oh, that's a relief. Hey, I wouldn't die from that. You wouldn't even pass out! You wouldn't... If you did pass out from a blow to the head, you very much could die from that. Anything that knocks you unconscious, you are in immediate danger. That's why, like Batman is very unrealistic, because if he's knocking all these people out, he's killing some of them. I'm looking at my microphone instead of the camera because I'm a terrible performer. But that's true. If your brain is in a situation where you've gone unconscious, you are in danger.
판타스틱 대회니까 불가능한 일이 일어날 수도 있어.
That is a threat. Impossible things could also happen on this fantastic day. Immediately after he said, I wouldn't die from that. That is a threat. Fantastic day. I can't afford to be careless on this fantastic day. This girl's going to kill me. And eat me with her reindeer friend. Santa!
왜?
What? Why did you start lending hopes and dreams to kids? I mean, why else, Jimothy? To get rich!
처음엔 파란
Well, I was selling them at first. You were selling them? Yep. For how much?
절망해.
Despair! Despair. Despair!
절망을 우리에게 팔면 희망을 준다고.
If you sell your despair to us, we'll give you hope.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea to me. I can't see anything potentially off-putting or demonic about that.
What kind of evil desires your despair? How does that work as a business? Thank you.
그럭저럭 인기는 많았어.
I don't know why or how, but it sure was popular. And then?
그런데 어느 순간부터 이 인간들이
But at some point, humans stopped selling it to us.
주고 싶어도 못 준대.
They said they couldn't give it to us even if they wanted to. And they don't. They covet their despair. What do you mean?
껴안고 있으면서 안 떼진다고 소리를 질러.
They hold on to it like treasure, but scream for help to separate it from them. Oh, this is too goddamn heavy. I also relate tremendously to this statement. Ah.
그래서 꿈과 희망을 빌려줬어.
That's why we started loaning the hopes and dreams to them. Why did you lend it to them when you could have just as easily given them away?
빌려주니까 버리더라.
They tend to be thrown away if we give it to them for free. Oh. 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 Oh, Balthazar. Oh, why is this game so poignant? Oh, it doesn't deserve to be so So accurate. So hard-hitting, so cutting to the core of the human condition. Oh! Hopes and dreams tend to be thrown away if the Santas give it to them for free. Oh.
너도 버렸잖아, 이 채무자야.
You threw it away too, you debtor. I was hit on the forehead by a fist. For playful jest, it was unexpectedly strong that I nearly fell over. No, you wouldn't. Kidding? This person, whoever wrote this, although an expert on the sorrow of the human condition under capitalism, has never been punched in the head. Anyway, so since they were throwing them away, if you just give it to... Oh, anyway. So since they were throwing them away if you just give it to them, you started loaning them out instead? Yep, I plan to have them returned with a lot of interest. You're... Whew, let me tell you about that plan, honey. That plan ain't gonna bear fruit. But everyone went bankrupt. Oh. Give it back! Give it back! I want to be buried with my money. I'm Saint Nicholas. Sorry, I got nothing. That was a very exaggerated ugh. It was now late in the afternoon and the sun had returned home to his bunker in the sky where he was busy reloading in order to kill all the snow. I gave Santa a cup of water. You know, just to emphasize the struggle that this guy's going through. How is it? This cup of water, the blandest thing possible.
루돌프가 울부짖고 있어. 미네랄 따위로 내 식욕을 채울 수 있을까 보냐? 라고 말해.
Rudolph doesn't like it. Do you honestly think I can satisfy my hunger with just minerals, he says. I need the souls of the innocent. Oh, Rudolph. You don't plan on being picky with what you eat in your current status, are you? You piece of meat inside of this tiny, lowly schoolgirl. Santa.
왜?
Yes? What do you plan to do from now on, Santa? Since this whole thing about lending isn't working out, shouldn't you try something else?
너도 와서 고민해.
Can you try and come up with a plan? Boy whose home I've infiltrated and struck multiple times on account of your debt to me? We decided to contemplate for a moment. I don't know. Ugh.
이 사채업자 아이디어도
Just when I thought this loan shark idea was good and original when I came up with it. No! No! If you understand... Okay. No. No! if there's a term for what you're doing, it isn't original. If there's a word for the thing you are trying to do, if the term loan shark exists as a term, it isn't original when you come up with it. It's got a name. You sure you weren't just being greedy? You know, with the interest and all, it's a bit...
채모자, 10년 전엔 분명히 100배, 1000배로 키워서 돌려준다고 새끼손가락 걸고 약속했어.
You debtor!
손에 침으로 도장도 찍고
Oh my god,
했잖아.
I think it's Korean. The Korean just keeps going. You debtor! I swear 10 years ago you definitely pinky promised that you would pay it back to me by 100 times, no 1,000 times. We even went as far as spit shaking on it. You know, because Santa always just appears to kids and it entraps them in, you know, collection agency style contracts, which is illegal. Why would he be doing this to children? This Santa. No matter how I look at it, there's no denying that she has a deeply rooted sense of resentment. Give it back! Give it back! You promised to give it back at 100, 1,000 times its original worth, didn't you? No! Santa? Sorry, I lost it all. Oh, no. No. I lost all my hopes and dreams, so I have nothing left. You could almost visually see Santa's heart sinking. Seriously, what am I supposed to do now? For the first time, Santa is showing some true sense of anxiety. Yes, that is what will happen to the 1% after they've caused it to happen to everyone else. Santa, we've wasted a day. Christmas Eve is almost over. We've just been sitting in my room talking to this tiny schoolgirl because I hope there were drugs involved in the creation of this game, because otherwise, like, good God. Good God. What the fuck was that noise? That was more than 3 U's and an ellipse. That was... Oh, there we go. It's gone. It's Christmas Day now. Calm down, Santa. Christmas Day arrived without the slightest show of mercy. Looking outside of the window, I could see the snow dancing in the wind. Yay, it's snowing! It was snowing quite heavily. I wonder if I would see a sea of white when I opened my eyes tomorrow. Santa, do you want to stay up all night?
안 돼. 어린이는 일찍 자야 돼.
No kids need to sleep early. It is midnight. It was literally... It was literally just established by the context of the conversation that it has just passed midnight. It is Christmas Day. It is the 25th. Like, it just flipped. It just flipped. It just flipped. He's not wrong. Kids do need to sleep early. They need more sleep than most people. But early isn't fucking midnight, Deborah. Okay? I know you have no idea what you're doing, but you should know at least that much, Deborah. Okay? Like, as a child, you know that you should sleep before midnight, Deborah. You're a bad mom, Deborah. That's what I'm trying to say. You are an unequipped mother who lacks the skills to raise a child properly, and she's gonna become a stripper. You're gonna raise a stripper, and you're gonna be like, how did this happen, Deborah? Fuck. I'm an adult now.
아니야. 내가 교복을 입고 있지만 마음만은 산타인 것처럼. 어리지만 마음만은 어린.
Oh no. Oh no, I knocked the wing off my dragon. This is one of my favorite possessions. It's a dragon that was sculpted from wood, clearly. I forget the type of wood, but it was sculpted by a man in Cuba. And my good friends, Kio and Teresa, got it for me when they went to Cuba. And I love it because I collect dragons. Because I like them. I like dragons. And it holds a very dear place in my heart. And only because it's too big is the reason that it's not on this tree with the rest of my dragons. And anyone who's watching this, if you ever like, I want to pick up something from Necro. Dragons. Pick up dragons. I like them. Dragon minis, whatever. And I love this. I love this because it's both a dragon and it's just a symbol of, I don't know, symbol of my friendship with them. And this particular wing is always falling off, and that's okay, because it's very special to me. Balthazar. My good friend Balthazar, the skull on the top of the tree. What do you make of this nonsense? Your silence speaks volume, Balthazar. Nope! Just like how my mind is still Santa even though I'm wearing a school uniform. Your mind is still that of a child even though you appear like an adult on the outside. Mind? Mind?
외형은 중요하지 않아. 중요한 건 마음.
Appearances. Appearances don't really matter. What's important is the way you feel in your heart. My heart is always Santa. Good night. Santa pulled the blanket over herself and laid down on the bed. I followed suit and pulled the blanket over myself and laid down too. For some reason, we ended up using the same single blanket. Well, obviously, if you have one blanket and you're both using it, you fucking sad boy. Even I have like 5 blankets and a sleeping bag. Like, you fucking degenerate loser. Sweet dreams, Santa.
Honey dream, Sonia.
Sweet dreams, kiddo. See, no, it's fine. It's fine that he's sleeping with a tiny child version of Santa Claus, because the Santa Claus has established that to her, he is also a child. I'm going to prison. I'm going to prison and I don't want to be there. We're gonna save this as it's Christmas Day now, and we're gonna close this game for a while. We're gonna go back to the prime. We're gonna go back to. Actually, I'm gonna read from the Holy Scripture, which is this magazine. Not magazine. This is just what is this? The Centennials Collector's Edition. Centennials Collector's Edition on the birth of Jesus, because it was 100 years ago today. The birth of Jesus, a Christmas miracle. Behold, the virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is translated God with us. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9:6. Christmas. Christmas. The celebration of the birth of Jesus happened in the perfect place, at the perfect time. God poured the epic stories that define our lives into a region called Judea during the reign of Caesar Augustus. Neither the geography nor the era was by accident. Together, they formed the perfect setting for God to change the world. For all its wonder, the Christmas story is rooted in the drama of history. The everyday lives of real people struggling to live in a gritty, oppressive, and difficult world. Every detail in the time and place of Christmas seems designed by God to maximize both the compassion of Christ for those who suffer and the communication of his story to a desperately needy world. Names and places that would have been buried in the dustbin of history remain household words because of Jesus. Who today would know if Mary, Joseph, or Bethlehem were it not for him? Regardless of one's religious persuasion, no one can argue that the person whose sandals trod the dusty roads of Nazareth and whose message spans both globe and ages of time has left an indelible mark on the world stage. Everything about him was as human as a baby's cry. At the same time, everything about him whispered of something beyond Earth's mortal realm. Orthodox theologies claim him to be the God-man. God-man! Utterly unparalleled among all who walk the earth. The story of Jesus has never lost its appeal. The subject of intense debate and the object of adoring faith, Jesus endures as history's most remarkable person. Everything we know about Christmas finds its root in the Bible. The Bible consists of 66 distinct books, clustered in 2 major sections. The Old Testament consists of 39 books dating before the days of Jesus. The New Testament chronicles the life of Jesus and the expansion of the early church in 27 books. Of these, the first 4, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are called the Gospels. Each one tells of the life and the teachings of Jesus. And 2 in particular, Matthew and Luke, tell the story of his birth. They present their stories as authentic history against the backdrop of first century Judaism in Israel. That is an accurate statement. That does not mean that they were, though. Just throwing that out there. You can't, just because you read it in a book doesn't mean it's true. I have no problem with Christians. One of my best friends is a believer. I should say at least one. I don't know the religious. Most of my friends are atheists, but I know at least one real dyed-in-the-wool Christian. But just because it's written in a book doesn't mean it's true. I could write a book tomorrow that is every bit as valid as the Bible in terms of being actual history. Because it's not a historical document. It's a document from it. Like, obviously, the Bible exists. But it's not... It's got so many authors and is so far removed from the events that it claims to purport that it is not a matter of... Okay. Here's my view on faith. If you have faith, you need to accept that you don't have proof of it. You can't argue that what you believe as your faith can be proven. If you are using it to browbeat people because what you believe to be true is true, I don't have fucking time for you. If you accept that what you believe is just that, a belief, and that other people's beliefs are just as valid as yours, because in the end, we don't know, like, agnosticism is the only true belief because it's, you don't know. Nobody knows. The atheists could be just as wrong as the Christians, could be just as wrong as the Hindus, could be just as wrong as the Buddhists, could be just as wrong as the Muslims, could be just as wrong as anybody else. If you're cool with that, as long as you accept that your faith is just that faith, I got no problem with you. It's when you try to make laws based on your faith that I have a problem with you. Matthew traces Jesus' genealogy all the way back to Abraham, the father of the Jewish race, and David, the greatest king of their history. Are Abraham and David related? I assume so, but I don't know enough about Jewish genealogy to say for sure. I feel like that in and of itself may be a problem. Although I guess if someone's described as the father of the Jewish race, anyone Jewish would come after them, but that would mean there's like a whole bunch of inbreeding going on. That's not good. That's not kosher. He details the angel's visit to Joseph and Herod's reaction to the newly born king of Jews. Writing with a Jewish audience in mind, Matthew routinely pauses to show how event after event in the birth and life of Jesus fulfilled the Old Testament prophecies and promises. 9 times he links the Old Testament prophecy with an event in the life of Jesus, with the formula that it might be fulfilled which was spoken. You know, there's a because okay, like, as much as people like to say, like, oh, Jesus existed in history, we have, like, no proof of that. Which is weird, because Romans kept, like, records of people. So you'd think we'd have Roman records of Jesus, but we don't. At least this is my understanding as far as a few years ago. I haven't, like, unless we just found out, oh, the Romans kept record of Jesus in the past, like, 5 years. it seems weird that they wouldn't have. But there's a theory that Jesus and Christianity were created by the Romans to pacify the very militant and assassin-prone Jews of the day. Because, like, the original... I think it's the original... Like, the first instance, maybe not, but I think so, of, like, asymmetrical warfare and terrorism to, like, spread your tactics through a much greater power were the Jews in Jerusalem against the Romans. Because obviously they couldn't stand up to the Roman Empire on a battlefield, but they could absolutely walk around unmolested and just whip a knife out of their sleeves and stab a Roman. It was absolutely a thing that happened. I just don't know if it was the first example of asymmetric warfare, but I believe it was. And so there's a theory that the Romans made up Christianity to be like, hey, you're looking for a Messiah? Well, your Messiah, instead of being a militant figure who will free you from our yoke, says to, just abide by it until you die. And then you get your reward when you die. Which is a very cynical, but possible and plausible belief. Matthew portrays the birth of Jesus, along with his life, teachings, and death, as resurrection, as the perfect fulfillment of Judaism's inspired prophetic word. That's another thing. Everything being so sort of tailor-made to the prophecy of the Jewish Messiah does lend itself to the idea that it was created synthetically by Romans. Luke states his objective: to provide an orderly account of everything Jesus did and taught. Also very Roman. He grounded everything in Jesus' supernatural birth. Luke wrote primarily for Gentiles and displayed a special compassion for the poor and marginalized. Also groups that would have revolted against the Romans. The poor and marginalized are the groups of people who are easily rallied to change the system because the system's failing them. That's why I want to change the system that I live under, because I'm the poor and marginalized. Not so much marginalized, but I'm poor, and that makes you marginalized. Like, obviously I'm a cishet white man. I'm not as marginalized as I could be, but I'm poor. It is Luke who gives us the greatest detail of the virgin birth and the mysterious events that surround it. He speaks of angels appearing to shepherds and of miracles surrounding the birth of the Messiah's forerunner, John. While Matthew spotlights the wealthy magi who visit the newborn king, Luke focuses on humble shepherds. The other two Gospels offer their own approach to the life and teachings of Jesus. Mark, the shortest, fastest pace of the Gospels, does not discuss the birth of Jesus. Writing for the Roman society of the first century, Mark's purposes lay elsewhere. For him, and for his predominantly Roman readers, the authority of Jesus derived from a life of action more than from a pedigree and birth. Again, like that can lend itself to the idea that Jesus was a fabrication. While Mark doesn't explicitly mention the virgin birth, he does seem to be aware of it. For example, he records people referring to Jesus as the son of Mary, when the son of Joseph would have been the norm. Oh, that's neat. John's Gospel views the birth of Jesus from heaven's perspective, unlike every other. So it's clearly made up. Like, come on, you can't expect to be taken literally when you are adopting the perspective of heaven. You are just a dude named John, Mr. Lennon. You can't purport to claim to be the voice of God. You prick. John's Gospel views the birth of Jesus from heaven's perspective, Unlike every other person who has ever lived, for Jesus, birth was not his beginning. From before creation, the Logos, Word, was with God and was God. The Word was made flesh, John says, and pitched his tent among us. A powerful theological description of what happened on the day Mary brought forth the Savior. John focused on the divine nature of Jesus. The Son of God assumed a human nature that he might shine the light of his saving love for all the world to see. 4 Gospels. 4 glimpses into the same miraculous person from 4 different angles. No one Gospel writer gives us the whole story. The 4 complementary accounts mesh seamlessly with one another and resonate harmoniously with countless promises and prophecies from cover to cover of the Bible. A virgin conceives. The Savior is born. Glory to the newborn King. He is Emmanuel. God with us. It is fitting, therefore, that his birth and as remarkable as the rest of it is fitting, therefore, that his birth was as remarkable as the rest of his story. Here's the story behind the story we call Christmas. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star shall come out of Jacob. A scepter shall rise out of Israel. Numbers 24:17. That was all the fucking prologue. Woo! That was all the prologue of this softcover baloney magazine Birth of Jesus nonsense. I love it. I got it for a birthday present last year. Yes, last year. I used it in the stream last year. And it's fantastic. It's terrible. It's garbage. It's useless. It's not. Surprise, surprise, I'm not a Christian believer. Although, and let me know if you'd be interested in this. I am very much interested in possibly, actually no, almost certainly I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the Bible, like, there we go. Old Testament, New Testament, Quran, because I view them as a trilogy, because they are. I'm going to start potentially streaming every Sunday or every other Sunday or whatever I decide to do. Just reading from the Bible. I think that would be an interesting thing to put on Twitch. Without endorsement, I'm not a Christian. Literally just reading from it, possibly providing my own insights. And I think that would be an interesting thing to do. Strictly because, like, I've never done, like, I want an excuse to read more. It's something that I want to do. Same as, like, I originally started this channel years ago as an excuse to play through the video games that I wanted to, which I plan on making I plan on doing better this year. And I think that adding books I should read, like, I have this entire bookshelf and I've read so few of those books. The top shelf's mostly DS games, but the rest are books. And I've read so few of them. Like, they're just random Christmas gifts and stuff that I just haven't taken the time to read. And that's deplorable to me. But it's so hard to sit down and be like, I'm going to take the next 3 hours and just read a book. A fantasy book. A random thing that I got. So I think I might make, like, me sitting in a chair reading on Twitch a thing. Let me know if you'd be interested in watching that. Because I'm probably going to do it starting off Sundays as a Bible thing, because that might get me some traction. And I've always wanted to just sit down and read the Bible. Let me know. Let me know. We left off at 12. We're back to the advent calendar. $13. 13 is in a curious spot in the artwork. I don't know if you can... There we go. Yeah, it's sort of an absence of space. It's between a reindeer, it's between a house. This could mean anything. Who's to say? It's a wreath. I think that's just filler. I don't think the Illuminati means anything by that. My chair. I have this office chair. And as I like stand up and sit down in it or whatever, or move about in it, it slowly like not deflates, but it sinks. So I have to periodically, while I'm sitting in it, just like stand up and lift it up to its maximum, because its maximum is where I want it. Number 14. It's in the depths of Santa's sleigh. So it has to do with material goods. And it's a house. Whoa. I'm not drunk, you're drunk. It's a house. That fits in with the cornerstone of the housing market, having to do with material goods from earlier. Things are going to get worse before they get better, because people don't change unless they're uncomfortable. You need enough people to be uncomfortable to change the system. That's actually the true indication that a system has failed. Number 15. Down here, by the logo sign, the crass Carnaby sweet. Like, it's so close to being like a good branding logo, because if it was like Carnaby Street, that would be good. But it's Carnaby and Sweet, and they're on two different street signs. So, oh no! I've dropped the chocolate. Oh god! I've doomed us all. Where did it go? Well, I dropped the chocolate and I doomed us all. Oh, now I'm dead. No, I think it's under my desk. I don't want to waste your time going for it. I'll go for it after the stream. Can I see what it was? I think it was another reindeer head. And therefore I'm going to dismiss it as not significant. It really just fits in line with the earlier mission statement of the Illuminati are going to start feeding people a lot more processed meat. So opt out of that, because it's bad for you. Except maybe chicken. I don't know if processed chicken is a carcinogen. I just know that ground beef, pork, sausage, hot dogs, that type of stuff is a carcinogen. It'll cause you cancer. Cancer of the butt. Not even like glamorous, oh, I'm so brave because I'm fighting a cancer. You are brave. Also, anyone who's watching this who has butt cancer, you're very brave for fighting it. Anyone who's striving to live over dying is brave, so long as they have a chance of doing it. But it's not a glamorous cancer. You know that. Anyone who's like, oh, I have cancer of the lungs and I'm fighting it for 2 years is like, yeah, Whereas if you got cancer of the butt, people are like, you got cancer of the butt. That's why the Illuminati is going to feed us a bunch of processed meat and kill us all. Number 16. Oh, yeah. It's a squirrel. They're going to feed us squirrel meat. I actually wonder, how economically feasible is squirrel farming? Probably not, because those little bastards can get into and out of most things. Number 17, found here in the antlers of the reindeer, is a stocking, which again fits into the idea that we're going to be wearing a bunch of exotic animal furs this semester. Number 18, right there in the house. The hell is this? It's like a hat thing, but it's fucking garbage. I don't think that was necessarily meaningful chocolate. Some of these are dummy chocolates. I think given that most of the chocolates that I've prescribed so far have been very intricate, like, calendar spanning affairs, that really there's only been like a couple of divinations that I've drawn from this year. They're probably accurate to some degree, whereas the ones that are just sort of sticking out and random, I think those are the dummy chocolates. It's unusual. Usually there's a lot of information in these, whereas this just seems to be a bit of information heavily confirmed. Number 19 is Rudolph's nose. As we all know, Rudolph, devoured by a tiny girl version of Santa Claus. We'll see what the Illuminati have to display from his uniqueness. It's a present. That means to me, with my big galaxy brain mind, that diversity will yield rewards in the coming year, which makes sense. We saw populism be on the rise and conservatism be on the rise for a couple of years, but it's an unsustainable wave of hate that it's not beneficial. Like, if it was a beneficial, if closing down your borders and only letting people like that look like you was beneficial to society, society would have broken down in a way that it did that years ago, because that has always been the classic opinion of people, and it just doesn't mesh out that it's useful. And I believe that the last rise of populism and conservatism across Europe and in the United States are sort of the last hurrah of the bigoted nationalist. And the Illuminati agree, because they like to make money. And you make money in this day and age by having skilled employees, not by having white employees. Not to say white people can't be skilled, but it's not a prerequisite. Number 20 is in Santa's hat and bag. It's a boot full of toys. Means nothing. What does that even mean? A boot full of toys. Even in the context of, like, just making Christmas stuff up. There was a squirrel. Why? Squirrels have nothing to do with Christmas. They die every winter. And then in the spring, their egg sacs burst into millions of tiny little squirrels. This thing is trash. 21 is an upsettingly barren square. I believe it may actually have deep significance. It's unlikely that they'd put a dummy chocolate behind such a meaningless square. Oh no! I dropped my advent calendar. It's Santa Claus. Why would they put Santa Claus behind the door? It's the 21st. It's not a significant date in any way. It's not Christmas Eve. It's not the day before Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas. I believe what that is. I believe what that is, in my professional opinion, as your informant of the Illuminati's mind, I believe that is the statement that symbology in the new year will take a back seat. There'll be less focus on convincing people of the supernatural and the unprovable in favor of... Well, not even in favor or anything. There'll just be less of it. They've accepted that they're losing the... I don't want to say the war on religion. That's not what I mean at all. They've accepted that they cannot convince the majority of people of a particular faith. And so they will cease trying. But they will not cease trying to control people. They'll just do it by different means. It used to be that they would control people via religion, but now with the advent of the internet and with the spread of scientific knowledge throughout the populace, it's impossible to create a majority of new believers. People who are set in their ways are set in their ways. But most young people aren't gravitating towards faith. And so the barren square with the symbol of the holiday, and explicitly the holiday, is evocative of the Illuminati's surrender to reason amongst the population, which they don't like, but they simply have to deal with. Because that's the thing, the Illuminati are not all powerful, they are just in control of society. Number 22. It's up there, it's that mountain square with a star in it. Very auspicious location, given the artwork this year. Concerned it. Ugh. Now this is clearly an angel. It's what it's supposed to be. However, I find it evocative of a League of Legends ward. And I believe what that means, I believe that's a clear symbol that League of Legends is going to have a resurgence of sorts this year. among the entertainment sphere. Because the Illuminati controls that too. You know, this is a lot of information that they're portraying. And so far this year, it's been heavily in the fashion and food department. But I believe that that indicates that they plan on, you know, the Overwatch experiment has failed. So they're going to go back to trying to control everyone with MOBAs, which I don't think will work. But I believe that is their intent. What the hell is this? Number 23 is like this chihuahua with antlers on a hat thing bullshit. I think that means it's the year of the beast from Revelations. But aside from that, I have no idea. And 24. The last day on this calendar, Christmas Eve, right there in the house rooftop with the chimney. That's a box of Santa. Clearly a significant. They choose the 1st, the 2nd, and the 24th all on the same day. So this will have some sort of significance on the housing market. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. It's a train. Trains are coming back this year. It seems very strange to me. Very strange that Santa Claus, the chocolate with Santa, because it was a larger, very detailed chocolate, should be in this spot, under 21. Typically, the Santa chocolate is a 24, and it's the artwork that matters more. I believe that since they opted out of that practice, the chocolate is more significant than the location on the calendar. Housing was already established to be a significant factor, so it makes sense that they would throw it in there. But I believe that trains are going to be a significant growth industry in 2019. At least according to the Illuminati signaling. That's just what I was able to discern from the runes. I'm a seer. I don't make the future, I just try to read it. Don't get mad, is what I'm saying. Don't yell at me. I don't respond well to it. Aha. Now, we're going to finish this game of adolescent Santa Claus. Because it is December 25th, Christmas Day. And although the outside world was brilliant and spotless, the spiteful sun in the sky had the every intent of obliterating anything. Woo! I went. Oh God! Oh, I've ruined everything. Oh wow! Oh no! Oh, I actually ruined everything. I knocked a dragon out of the tree, and I knocked her wings off. There we go. It just would. Oh. It wouldn't be Christmas without me drunkenly smashing into the Christmas tree. I wish that was a joke. in my adult life, I have consistently drunkenly knocked into a Christmas tree almost every year. Balthazar, when you think of the sun, do you think of an orb that provides warmth and light for plants and therefore the energy to sustain all life on this planet and thus an overall positive entity? Or do you think of the snow getting genocided for personal reasons because of the great flaming orb in the sky? You're an inanimate plastic toy, so I don't need a response from you because I'm not delusional. The spiteful sun in the sky had every intent of obliterating anything. The sun was killing the snow, fractal by fractal. Santa?
왜?
Can't you just ask the sun to leave us alone for a bit? After all, it's meant to be a fantastic day, right?
부탁해봐.
Try asking it nicely. Hey! Sun! Scram! I was ignored.
현실이 다 그래.
Reality is always like that. Sob sob. Santa has made a snowball and started rolling it in the snow. What are you doing, Santa? Despite clearly recognizing that you've started rolling a snowball in the snow.
눈사람을 만들어.
I'm making a snowman! Haha. I also started to roll the snowball. Roll, roll. Round, round. Round, round. Round, 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 round. I finished making the smaller ball. Santa has finished making the body portion of the snowman. I'll put the smaller ball on top of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about any of you, but I am rock hard thinking about just rolling a snowball around in the snow with a lowly girl Santa Claus in a schoolgirl uniform who ate her reindeer companion and insists that I owe her money. That's just, I don't know how many of you share that particular alignment of fetishes, but like it's all I can do to maintain from just whipping it out on stream and finishing. That's all I can say about the topic. The snowman was now complete. Now what? If we just leave it here, the sun's going to come and kill it.
그럼
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a mayfly. Santa, you are high. A mayfly?
하루만 반짝하고 생기는
An insect with the fate of only living a day in its lifetime.
다음 날이 되면
The snowman is going to melt by tomorrow.
반짝할 땐 기쁜데
You're happy when it's there, but once it's gone, you'll forget about it.
없었던
As if it
것처럼
never existed in the first place. Why do you gotta be so heavy, Santa? Why do you gotta make me think about myself in the context of leaving nothing behind? Really? What should I do? Santa gave me a peek from the corner of her eye. Only 14 hours of Christmas left. Only 14 hours of the fantastic day left. Only 14 hours of hope left. Once today is over, it'll all melt and die. We have to find a way to keep it before that happens. Should we put it in the fridge?
그러면 안 커.
Then it won't grow.
굳어지기만 해.
It's only gonna get hard and stiff. Then it won't grow. It's only gonna get hard and stiff. Then what exactly should we do? Oh, I'm Santa Claus, but I'm an underage girl in a schoolgirl uniform. Oh. You're going to prison for playing this game. Santa looked depressed.
이제
Is there really nothing else we can do now? Santa looked at me.
그냥 줘도 안 되고 팔아도 안 되고.
I tried giving them out for free. I tried loaning them out. Neither worked.
빛이 보이지 않아.
Being Santa's a tough job. I don't see any light. Yeah, I can't imagine what it feels like to be, able to give every child in the world anything and eating your reindeer instead of managing your business properly, you useless 1% snowflake
이거
millennial.
마지막이란 말이야.
I'm the last one,
산타는 멸종당했어.
All the other Santas died out.
산타야.
I'm the last one standing. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, I suppose. Haha. Who's responsible for that?
너잖아 이 채무자야.
You debtor! Your debt caused all the Santas to starve to death! It's you, the poor, who are to blame for all of society's ills. The creditor swung violence at the debtor. I received a precise blow to the center of my chin. Okay, now this could knock a person out, because when you get hit in the chin, and although I'm pretty sure it means like this, the actual way to punch someone is this, it pivots the skull so that as the punch lands, because it'll be much faster than I'm demonstrating, obviously, as the punch lands, your brain in your skull gets smashed into the side of your skull on the inside. Like, so like, pow, it'll go this way. And when your brain hits the side of your skull, you get knocked the fuck out for like a few seconds, at least. And you also get brain damage. Anyone who's ever knocked out in a boxing match has suffered brain damage. It's why I don't think boxing is an ethical sport. It's also why I don't think football, under current NFL rules, is an ethical sport. I don't even know if football is possible to be played ethically. I suspect not. Same with boxing. I don't think boxing can be ethically practiced. I received a precise blow to the center of my chin. Ow! That really hurts. See, he gets hit in the forehead, which when you get hit, like jaw, I'm moving my head. Hit in the forehead, you don't move. That's the thickest part of the skull. It's designed to absorb and deflect impacts like a breastplate. Like, it's... You don't get knocked out by getting hit in the skull. It would have to hit you so hard that it would, like, damage your skull to do anything to the brain behind it. Like, that doesn't... Like, even if... Like, sit up straight, or stand up, or whatever you want to do, as a normal, like, stance. You're not even prepared to get hit. If you hit yourself in the skull, your head's not going anywhere. You apply pressure and it's just like, no, it's the thickest part of bone. He would not be knocked out from that punch. But getting hit square in the chin, like, if you're getting hit face on, it's gonna hurt more, because the bone, you can feel the bone isn't as thick and isn't just it's not a solid state. Like, you're gonna take, like, pain to your teeth or something. And if you're hit sideways, your head pivots. That's why, like, the jaw, the side of the jaw is where boxers aim, because it's the way to do the most, like, movement to the brain. I don't want to say damage, though I guess it is. It's one of the ways to do the most damage to the brain, by pivoting the jaw and knocking people the hell out. But in this game, and this is the point of contention that I am making, of all the rest of this game, I've accepted it. But hitting someone in the goddamn forehead and knocking them out for a minute is not at all realistic. Hitting someone in the jaw in the same game, in the same sequence, in the same world, and having them be totally fine and it just hurt, displays an utterly backwards understanding of anatomy insofar as to do with fighting. And it offends me on a level that I didn't understand that I held before this moment. But it does. Pain is a cheap price to pay, says Santa, desperate to get those hopes and dreams back. Ugh.
1시간 동안
I've thought about it for an hour, and I was just rolling snowballs for the past hour. Any good ideas? I did, but it's not the best of all ideas. What is it?
시청 앞에서 파업할까?
Why don't we go on a strike and protest outside of City Hall? No, you stay in this tree, goddamn you. Balthazar, my dearest, companion. Balthazar, why don't we go on strike and protest outside of City Hall in the name of Santa getting his debt back? Oh, is it because fuck the rich? That's right, Balthazar, it is! Fuck the rich! We should cut their heads off and roast them, and then eat them, because they view us as subhuman, and therefore deserve to die. Don't. Well, giving out hopes and dreams is labor too, you know. Fuck you, the banks! No, it isn't. Having wealth and offering it to people isn't labor. No one is going to take you seriously. Thank you. It was late in the evening. We returned home. Santa, it's dinner time. I'm a tiny Korean schoolgirl, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna sound unbelievably horny. But why does it have to be a school uniform? Couldn't you have gone for anything else? This feels like it was legitimately left out of the previous part in the game. This feels like it's legitimately just mixed up dialogue.
교복을 입은 산타는 영원히 10대야.
A Santa who wears a school uniform is forever in their teens. teens? What does that mean?
마음은 산타지만 교복을 입었으니
Although my heart is Santa, since I'm wearing a school uniform, my appearance is also forced to be that of a teen.
에이, 너도 교복
Hey, you should wear one too. Balthazar, my oldest and dearest friend. Is Santa trying to fuck us? Is Santa trying to get us to put on a schoolgirl uniform, turn into a schoolgirl, and have weird, both of us are guys, both of us are older than schoolgirl age, Yuri sex? Is that what's happening? That's what I feel like is happening. And I don't like it one bit. I don't think I want to partake in this. Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus, one of apparently a species. Don't think I should wear one too, as you suggest. You are? I wish I didn't relate to this statement, but I do. Once I came to, I was wearing a school uniform. This is weird. The slide whistle implied that he got a boner. I don't think that was necessarily the intention of the author, but it's what it did. It feels like I've reverted back to being a high school student again.
잘 어울려.
Looks good. It looks good on you. I'm Santa, and I'm ready to pounce. Santa looked pleased.
산타는 힘이 없어.
Santa no longer has any powers, so all she can do are small things.
그래도 만들어.
But since I made it for you, you have to pay it back to me by 1,000 folds next year. What did you make?
꿈과 희망.
Hopes and dreams. What when?
교복.
The school uniform. Eh? This school uniform is hopes and dreams?
원래부터 네 속에 있던 거니까.
Well, it was always inside you, so all I did was pull it out. All you need to do is make it bigger. By 1,000 folds, son, or else I'm gonna take your house. But it feels like it's going to melt and die. Oh, no. I'm relating to the main character in the visual novel again. I'm Santa Claus. Oh, I'm just a little girl in a skirt. Oh, I'm in your apartment and I've got hearts in my eyes and I just... Oh, you're just a big, strong man. Santa? I'm sorry that you invaded my home and demanded a debt that I did not acquiesce to while an adult. And, you know, I'm at fault.
미안하면 좀 갚아, 이 채무자야.
If you're sorry, then pay me back, you debtor. The creditor didn't swing violence at the debtor. Santa looked at me blankly.
이제 시간이 없어.
There's no time. What?
1시간밖에 남지
There's only an hour left. Oh, so there's only 1 hour left of Christmas. It's impossible to obtain the hopes and dream within an hour, isn't it? I'm Santa Claus. Santa, I have a request.
뭐야, 채무자?
What is it, deader? Because, okay. Because when you're a kid and you believe in Santa Claus, you always hear these stories about how he's going to give you presents, and then 10 years later he's going to show up and he's going to take everything from you. He's going to strip you of everything. And that's why you can accept growing up and trying your damnedest and just existing in debt for perpetuity for the rest of your life. And that's why kids today have it easier than me, because I was raised to believe that I could actually accomplish something, and I can't. The system is set up so that I can't. And any attempt that I make at bettering my circumstance is a risk that will fail. And it is only by accepting that I can avoid these pitfalls and simply strive to exist until I'm about 40, at which point the bottom will fall out, the revolution will begin, and I will be killed simply for being too old. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Come back next year.
내년에도?
Next year? Yeah, next year. Are you going to be okay with that? I'm Santa Claus. Honestly, not really. I'm asking you because I enjoy being uncomfortable. I'll give it my best shot in gathering my hopes and dreams, but the sun's too strong. It might be gone by tomorrow. Even if that does happen, I'll still wait patiently for the fantastic day. Until the day I can borrow hope from you again. You debtor. Do you even know how much debt you're in right now? Huh. How much? I gave you the loan when you were 7. So you've 13 years worth of interest to pay back. What do I have to do to pay it back? Give hopes and dreams to 13 other people. Wait, you're telling me this was pyramid selling all along? Santa has to put bread on the table too. Cruel Santa. So basically, to pay her back, I have to pay 13 times the initial amount. Alright, I'll come again next year. If you haven't given hopes and dreams to 13 people by then, I'll add interest and increase it by 10-folds. 130 people. If you aren't able to reach the quota by the year after that, then I'll raise it to 1,300 people. Wow, you're like a dictionary definition of a loan shark. The corrupt lender smiled. Work hard. Yeah. The South and North Pole won't melt. Even if it melts at first, you just have to make it bigger and firmer until it gets to the point where it can't melt. Put it in the fridge? Then it'll only become firm, but not bigger. Work hard. Yeah. If the sun kills it again, I'll grant you a loan on the next fantastic day. And you'll increase the quota by 10 times? Of course. Wow. And I'm guessing that this is going to keep going down the tiers of your pyramid scheme. Yep. Try raising the numbers up to somewhere in the millions. Impossible. That's just impossible. It's fine. The pyramid makes it possible. The short Christmas is now coming to an end. What the hell made it short? It was... Nothing established it as the short Christmas. It's just Christmas. Fuck you, this game. You're really going to come next year, right? Yep. I'm not sure what's going to happen to me by then.
나도 몰라.
Me neither. Even so,
그래도
I'll wait.
약속.
Promise? I'm not gonna make a promise when I have a feeling that you may break it. Oh,
채무자 따위가.
this debtor. Foo. How is that, like, I know that's supposed to be laughter, but I don't understand, like, nobody laughs with a consonant, like F. Like, that's, like, that's not a natural laugh. Like, laughing is a very vowel bit, like, you, like, ha, like, but that's like, I get that H is a consonant, but it's not, like, a hard, like, you don't have to make effort to do it. And really, like a laughing, I don't get why it's foo in Japanese. I don't get it, because people don't laugh that way. People, like, they just emit sounds, like, ha 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 ha, like there's hardly any consonants there. I don't get it, because foo is a very, you have to f, and that's not that, like, your mouth doesn't come together when you're laughing. That's the thing I don't get about foo. Christmas is coming to an end. You aren't going?
마지막으로 한마디.
I have one last thing to say. What is it?
고마워.
Thank you. Why?
마지막이었어.
You were the last one. Last what?
마지막 고객이었어.
You were my last customer.
다행이야.
Huh. That's a relief.
일자리를
I didn't lose my job. For some reason, the sight of Santa smiling felt faint.
나 내년까지 130.
I'm gonna make 130 hopes and dreams by next year, so yeah.
시작은 가볍게 13개.
Let's call it 13 for now.
내년엔 130개를 들고 올게.
I'll bring 130 next year. By then, I might be able to get some help.
그 다음 해엔 1,300개.
The year after that, 1,300.
13,000개.
The year after that, 13,000. And the year after that, 130,000. Wow.
그렇게 되면
If it grows that big, I'll be able to run my factory again. Santa. What's your dream?
사람들에게 꿈과 희망을
To give
주는
people
거야.
hopes and dreams. I see.
그렇지.
Yep. Work hard.
너도?
You too. Oh, that's uncomfortably close. The clock hit 12 and Christmas Day was over. December 26th. The fantastic day was over. Now it's just time for boxing. Bang! It's a Canadian tradition. Though my heart still felt fantastic. Yes, there is a risk that the sun may kill the fantastic feeling once I open the door and step outside. The sun, my mortal enemy. Who can feel happy when the sun is out? Even so. Let's open the door. If you put it in the fridge, then it'll only become firm, but it'll never grow. It always sounds like they're talking about a penis. Let's hang in there for a year. Let's hang in there while I give people hopes and dreams. I'm looking forward to Christmas next year. Goodbye, Santa. I wait.
산타는 교복을 입을 수밖에 없어.
That's the fucking story. That's the game. That was Adolescent Santa Claus. Truly. And with utmost sincerity, one of the greatest visual novels I've ever played, because I don't play those games. But also, come on. What is that game? What was that game? I thank you beautiful people for joining me for this fantastic Christmas stream where I played Adolescent Santa Claus, because it is a marvel of the modern era of video games. And truly a gem. It is free to play on Steam if you want to go through it. Like, there's not really any decision tree, so you kind of just played the game by watching it, but it's fantastic. Spread the word. It is worth a play. And I will now go. My wine is empty. My advent calendar is done. Jesus is long dead. So I think that it's time for me to say to this Christmas stream, adieu. And thank you very much for joining me. It means the world to me that people are willing to spend their Christmas morning with me. And I love each and every one of you for it. I'm gonna do more this year. More, better, bigger, badder, harder, stronger, faster. And I hope to see you joining me for it, because without you, it's all pointless. Thank you very much. Au revoir.